Welcome back, everybody. This is the Moon. Um, Last episode, I'm not sure what happened. Like I said before, it was second attempt at remote viewing. I had not previously. I wasn't very happy with the results, so I went and watched the video again. Started thinking, I'm just making. I don't know. I'm skeptical on this whole thing, right? I think sometimes we let our imaginations get the best of us too much, and we think things are real when they're not. So, with that being said, I went and I've been talking to ChatGPT a lot with some of the subjects that I've remote viewed, with some of the things that I thought about while creating this channel, and it's helped me a lot in just creating the channel. I don't think I would have been able to do that without ChatGPT bot or some sort of prompt system to help me organize my thoughts of what I want. And I spent a lot of time last night creating these overlays and stuff like that. I'm trying to build this organically, of course, and and do it all on my own for the most part. And any support that comes from any friends of mine or family of mine, it's gonna mean the world to me, and it'll all be worth it in the end. I just I don't know how this is gonna work because I don't really understand some of the terminology or what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, or if that's real, or if that's something to lock onto, or if that's valuable to the pursuit of what is remote viewing, what is human consciousness. Now, like I said, I talked to Chat GPT and I said, what should I focus on when I remote view? This is what it had to say. It says, when practicing remote viewing, your focus should be on several key principles and steps to maximize your results and accuracy. One being quiet your mind, which been there with meditation, very very meditative centric view, but it starts to get a little more contradictory when it goes to describe, don't identify, but then also set an intention. Now let's read what set an intention. Decide on a specific target or objective for your session. Remote viewing works best when you deliberately focus on a particular target rather than seeking random impressions. Fair enough. But then when it says during the session, describe, don't identify, which if you go back and watch the previous episode, you'll notice that I do this. Focus on describing what you receive: colors, shapes, textures, temperatures, sounds, smells, emotions, and intents. And I think I had some of that going, but I also had a lot of what they call analytical overlays, or AOLs. Not the You Got Mail AOL. So avoid jumping to conclusions or using nouns, as these are often products of your imagination. Like I was saying yesterday and earlier today, is this real? Is this just our imagination? When we see things in our mind's eye, is it just doubt? Is it just processing things that your subconscious needs to move beyond so that your forward thinking can continue the day? But to me, that's a little contradictory, because if you are trying to set an intention and set a target or an objective of what you want to remote view, you're inherently going to create those analytical overlays of saying, I want to look at what's under the mountain. How do you look at what's under the mountain if you don't say, there's the mountain, that's what I want to look under? And still be objective without using nouns or using descriptions. It doesn't make sense to me. So let's try to record. Let's try to move on and see what else it has to say. Record everything. We're going to write down and record all impressions, which I did with the first remote viewing. So I've done some things right and some things wrong. I need to get less wrong and more right. That's my objective today, is to look at what I did in the past remote viewings and then move forward to investigating the right way to do this, and then what are the results of doing that. So I have been recording everything. Sensory and dimensional detail. Now this is an interesting title to the point. Pay special attention to sensory and dimensional information visuals. Sounds, smells, tastes, temperatures, just like the identify, don't describe. Try to capture the basic descriptions first. Is the target natural or artificial? Is it surrounded by land or water? We did that. What sends most strongly in your perception? So maybe I was on the right trail. I just lost the path during the last session. But it still isn't telling me how to start a session. Do I just close my eyes and start drawing or describing what is coming into my mind's eye? I have 100 different images that come through. What am I going to have for lunch? Am I tired from drinking too much coffee yesterday and not enough today? There's all of these thoughts that come through your mind as you're trying to do any topic or any act or any action or activity. Give me a second to get that one out. Any activity can be just thwarted with so many thoughts that it's so distracting. This world is so busy. This world has so much noise. I don't know where to even start to try to give myself sensory deprivation aside from digging a bunker and I don't know. Hide me in the attic, or I don't know. It still is not telling me where we start the act of remote viewing. But then in the next point, it says, let go of judgment. Do not second guess or judge the information that comes to you. Write down your first impressions, even if they seem faint or illogical. Again, a kind of a contradictory point to don't describe or give analytical overlay. If you second guess or judge the information, are you analytically overlaying, or are you not describing it with your mind's eye? You're giving it your own impression, your own thought of what could it be? What could it be? I've had people in the audience of some of my remote viewings, and they'll say, look at the, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and you kind of have to block out chat because you kind of get front loaded. And I've learned that term while doing this process as well. How do we stop all of the noise in our mind long enough to go, that's something interesting that should be written down? How do we stop saying, well, maybe that interesting thing is just me putting a description on it and over analyzing it to make it something? Like yesterday when I said, oh, this feels like a wall. It is like a fortress. It's a thing, it's entertaining, but was that what I was seeing? I've watched some remote viewers where they're describing like the Washington Monument, and they draw it on paper, and I mean, it's so clearly and obviously the Washington Monument or an obelisk, but the remote viewer just seems very obtuse about it. They don't even care what they're drawing, and I guess that would be to their credit with not bringing in the analytical overlays to say, oh, well, that looks like the Washington Monument. But also, how would you say, oh, this is by a river, and then if you get just it right on the head and say, this is the Potomac River, it's very contradictive to me. I don't know how I'm going to get past that. So, all right. Sketch it if possible. Yeah. Oh, sketch it if possible. Yeah, I don't know if it's possible. I try, but I don't know if it's possible. If you receive visual impressions, which a lot of times I do, try sketching them. The drawing doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, thank you for that. It's just another way to record your perceptions. Okay, I'll give you that. That's fine. I'm with that. And stay present. Remain focused on the present moment and the subtle information coming through, rather than letting your mind wander or analyze. That is where I'm going to have a lot of trouble. My mind wanders a lot. I have some anxiety issues, even doing this video right now. I had anxiety from setting up the stream last night and making just this happen. Now, this is just the YouTube version. There is a Discord version, and there's a link in the YouTube channel to go to our Discord, and if you'd like to join us there, we're discussing new things about remote viewing, and I try to post something new every day, if not taking the weekend off, and then I'll see you Monday kind of thing, and post some more stuff. We're getting new members all the time there, and if you're on Discord, please join us. So it's going now. It says after the session. This is where I hit a wall yesterday, because after the session, I just wanted to check the audio levels of the YouTube video, and just basically these few first sessions are going to be set up. I'm not really criticizing myself too much on the results that I'm getting from the remote viewing. I'm just trying to set up a entertaining YouTube channel that has elements of capturing an audience. Now, after the session, I thought, how do I get feedback? If possible, compare your notes or sketches with the actual target to assess accuracy and learn from the exercise. Again, another contradiction here. If I'm trying to just find something out in the ether by, like I said yesterday, I have some strange connection to numbers. I see my angel numbers, and usually when I see my angel numbers, 3s and 7s, 1 3s and 7s, 7s 3, I follow that, or I go, I'm doing the right thing. I'm going down the right path. And there's some anti-angel numbers that I would go, I don't necessarily go, I'm going to avoid that because I see that number, or vice versa. I just acknowledge that I saw it, and I'm going to pay attention to my surroundings, which everybody should anyway. It's just sort of a visual cue for me to go, oh, snap out of it. You could be in some sort of danger, or you could be in some sort of situation where you need to pay attention more to get the whole story. Repeat and practice remote viewing, which we're going to do today, but it still isn't saying, how do you start aside from going into a meditative dance or meditative state? So we'll do that. I have a little bit of ambient music on today. I don't know if that's probably too much noise. I might have to turn it off. But I kind of want to have it on to see what it does. This is just all experimentation. I don't even know how many episodes will be experimentation, but it'll be quite a few, I'm sure. With that being said, on Sunday night, I will be doing a live remote viewing with an audience in my Discord channel, and I welcome you to join us. It'll be a lot of fun. Whether it be just laughing and messing around, or having a serious talk about topics of the day, right? So let's repeat and practice. Remote viewing is a skill that improves with regular practice and review. Don't be discouraged by initial results. Consistency is key. I believe that wholeheartedly. I think that we fall off on a lot of things. You know, like I'm sure a lot of people have already fallen off of their New Year resolution, whether it have been stop eating junk food, go to the gym. That's usually the top contender in New Year's resolutions. And I'll tell you, I've been to Burger King once or twice since the new year, right? But I have to stay consistent. In what way? Am I staying consistent in using the Fibonacci numbers to remote view? Am I staying consistent in using the primes? in remote viewing, or should I just close my eyes and start describing things that are coming to my mind's eye? But it then goes back to the contradiction of I don't even know what I'm targeting. But if I were to have an intentional target, I could possibly be doing analytical overlays on my viewing. It's so confusing. It's so tough to get it right and be I miss the GPS coordinate remote viewing where I would just have people come in and give me a GPS coordinates live. I'm on camera. No funny business, no clicking of the keyboard. You can see my hands, you can see me not looking at Google Maps or anything like that. I don't have my phone. I'm not looking at another screen showing me where these places are, and I just start to describe to the people that have requested this GPS coordinate. And yesterday I said 60%. I think I'm one wrong out of like 7 or 8 remote viewing targets that I've been presented. So the first 3 I did 100%, and then the next 4 I got 3 out of 4. So that, whatever that math is, that's my success rate. And then the Void Drive session on my first remote viewing on paper, I felt like that was a tremendous success. But then when I've been reviewing what I'm doing and what remote viewing is, I feel like it wasn't so much of a success, especially yesterday when I was describing a concrete wall and a jungle and a guy who was walking to a concrete device or thing where transmission lines and that shape that I was drawing where it's like, that looks like a high tension transmission tower. And, you know, was it, or was it a stick figure of the next Burning Man festival? I don't know. I don't know. That being said, maybe I'll calm my mind and we'll do a little remote viewing session. I appreciate you being here with me today. I don't even know how to describe my appreciation for the people around me that have gotten me out of my shell to do this. The phenomenal experience to have good people around you. Sometimes frustrating, but always enjoyable, and always, in the end, love. And I don't want to get too corny or cheesy. That's how I feel about it. So let's pick up the pen. Maybe I'll lower the music a little bit. Okay. Technique called 4-7-8, where breathe in for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 7 counts. Breathe out. bright fans. Something, but contradictions start to bubble up and have turned like analytical overlay, but also describe the target, find a target that matters. So much doubt. But then the process says don't doubt and don't overanalyze results, findings. Be confident. Point. Pin. Okay. Motion. Point that started here. Went here. And then it started swirling. It picked something up and it started to go that way. Focus on that a little. Cool. Don't know how else to describe. Looks like a table thigh was a pinpoint of light in my thigh that point again and point. Coming off of it. Don't know what. Flowing back. But it looked car driving this way. Enjoyment, having fun, driving to. distance. Depression. Plant. Thing. Overlay your car that I was describing in it. Convertible. Cartoonish. Like tooth shape. Huh. Page. Point of light bursting out of it. Like a tunnel. Ventric. The shape. Hmm. And this shape over here, very tall and cylindrical, or slender, tall. Long, slender legs or limbs, or long up, more of a rectangle type shape. A lot of like flat topped shapes with but then once again over here, long, tall, tunnel structure. And I feel like there's no connection between. I want to go to the into the crazy abstract and say this was a ship that this alien face melted in when it went into this energy tunnel. But once again, how do you falsify that? How do you prove that what I'm seeing and making those connections seems so inappropriate, so unintuitive is the scientific process. That's why I was asking the ChatGPT today, how do I start a session? I think what I'm missing is the objective and target, but then in doing so, you now front-loaded yourself to say, yes, I see what's underneath the mountain. It is this. Who's going to go and dig under that mountain to prove me wrong? But then it begs the question of, if that's the case, then why did so many people, why have so many organizations drop so much investment into finding out if it's real? How are there so many remote viewing, lack of a better word, remote viewing miracles to say the contrary, that it's all just fake and a part of in its head? I don't know. Dud session. I kind of miss the. I really miss the just the chat going, look at 49 West, 52 East. And then just going in, having fun and saying, okay, I think that's all I got of it. What was it? And then going and looking at it and then going, oh, remember when I said that there was a red car in the street? Yeah, that's cool. There is. That's wild. I can't believe it. I mean, maybe that's just, strange luck of coincidence that I can see those things and then other people go, yep, that's what it was. That's real. It gives me a tremendous doubt when I sit here and I just have this abstract target of nothing. And then, these drawings or descriptions, these videos that I could go back and watch, something happens tomorrow or next week that goes, somebody drove their car off a cliff and they melted their face because of some sort of tornado that flung them off the road, and hope that doesn't happen. But then would I go, oh, I had a premonition that was going to happen? Seriously doubt it. All right, let's turn the page one more time. Try to clear my mind one more time. We'll talk about what comes to my mind's eye, and we'll close the set. Thank you for checking out this video this far along. If you have, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I'm going to do this as consistently as I can. That Sunday nights, I do a live remote viewing session, sometimes to 2 people, sometimes maybe this weekend will be no people. Very small group, very nice people over there. Enjoyed the interaction I've had with some of them, and I consider a lot of them to be friends. Thank you. All right. Clear my mind. Here. Beard. Bars. Light. Coma coming off. Dark. Again. Very, very powerful. I have a lot of left to right motion. Don't know if that is a common thing for remote viewing, where from left to right. Because why wouldn't I see it from front back to front, or from right to left, just as much as I see it from this? there's a very detailed object, but so there's like this, an angle, like that, with another rectangle. Like no blank white board cloth. Oh, well, might as well some sort of like pattern of fancy coming from this way back. The image in my mind's eye up really high or in really close. Forward imagery. Very, very fast motion across the from where I'm sitting and then moving forward, and then motion of going roller coaster. To me, being the overlay analysis that I am, and an analyst, I don't think that's a word. To me that looks like an overhead map. I'm buildings, building here. Some sort of thing here. Another building here. You know, what am I looking at? Was this energy or was this water? Is water coming through the map? What am I looking at? What am I doing? I've seen some I have not so good handwriting, so like if I were to try to write and describe, I would be worried about how I'm writing the word more than trying to describe the thing that I'm seeing in my mind, so I'm more likely to like draw a vague image sketch of what I'm seeing, like the shape. Well, I appreciate everyone checking this. I don't know if it's nonsense. I don't think it's good. I don't know. I don't want to bang my head against a wall every day, but then also not be, air quotes, consistent with my findings or with my practice of this. I've seen a few people do a method where they have like letters symbolizing some sort of thing across the top of their paper. I'm gonna look into that, and tomorrow we'll talk about what these folks are putting across the top of their paper and what that, and then maybe do another session like this. I just feel like I'm going to eventually fill this book up with what looks like a toddler who just got a hold of the pens in the paper or in the notebook and just went to town. Do not know what to think of this. So if you do, let me know in the comments below, and I appreciate everybody for stopping in today, checking out the stream. I am the Moon, and you have been watching Moonlit Visions. I'll see you in the next video.